Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam ajma'in. In this session that we're going to be looking at the meaning of the Quran. And the scholars of Islam have defined the Quran as the Kalamullah, the eternal speech of Allah al-Munzal that has been revealed to An-Nabi Muhammad, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi wasallam. So the Quran is revelation, and this is one of the most important things for all human beings to come to know. That is the importance of revelation. It is only through revelation that we can make sense of this life, that we can understand the purpose of our life, that we can know the relationship of the now, this world that we now live in relation to the next world. Revelation helps us make sense of all other types of knowledge as well. So the Quran is the eternal speech of Allah that was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wa alihi wa sahbihi wasallam. This is the essential part of the definition. And then after this, you will find a number of additions, and the scholars attempt to define clearly what the Quran is. They will also add that it is al-manqul bit-tawatur, that is, it has been transmitted by tawatur. This is an Arabic word that has a very specific technical meaning. That is, there are multiple transmissions in every single generation from the time of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ until the present day. And this is one of the miracles of the Quran, is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has facilitated its memorization. And I remember just before becoming Muslim, meeting someone who'd memorized the Quran, and that really struck me. And then coming to know after becoming Muslim, the hundreds of thousands of Muslims that have memorized Allah Ta'ala's book throughout the world. So in every generation, from the early period until now, the Quran has been rigorously transmitted with all of its details in what is known as tawatur, multiple chains of transmission in every single generation. And that we see, for instance, in the hadith literature, is that oftentimes there are hadith transmitted that are not mutawatir. In fact, that the mutawatir hadith are only a few compared to the other hadith. But the Quran, in every generation, has had multiple transmissions, so that we know that it has reached us exactly as it was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Scholars will also add to this that it is al-maktub fil masahif. It is written in a physical copy of the Quran. So when we say mushaf, it's a copy of the Quran. And just as the Quran was transmitted orally, it was also transmitted in written form. So it has been transmitted by tawatur, that is multiple transmissions in every generation, both verbally and in writing. And then scholars will add another part of this definition, what says, al-mu'jiz. It is inimitable. And what that means is nobody can come with the likes of it. And all of the attempts are laughable. And we find this in the books, different attempts that different Arab had at different stages, and all of them are laughable. It's inimitable. No one can come with the likes of the Quran in relation to its eloquence, in relation to all of its meanings, in relation to what it tells us, in relation to its profundity, and all meanings of imitability. No one can come with the likeness of the Quran. And you find this, as the scholars say, وَلَوْ بِسُورَةٍ مِّنْهُ, even if it is only a single chapter. And then they will also add to this definition, al-muta'abbad bitilawatihi. The mere recitation of the Quran is worship. As opposed to, yes, you get reward for reading books, you get reward for reading a hadith, but the recitation of the Quran itself is a form of worship. And what we can take from this definition of the Quran is ultimately everything about the Quran is sacred. The sounds of the Quran are sacred. The very words of the Arabic language chose by Allah are sacred. The letters in which it's written is sacred. The paper that it is written on is sacred. And you and I have to observe the utmost etiquette when dealing with the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because of how sacred it is. And this is why one of the early Muslims, that Ikrimah, when he used to hold the book of Allah, he used to say, Hada kalam Rabbi, Hada kalam Rabbi. This is the word of my Lord. This is the speech of my Lord. And at times he would pass out of awe of recognizing that when we recite the Quran, we are reciting the word of Allah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala connect us to the Quran, connect us to the meanings of the Quran, and bless us to be able to recite it in a way that is pleasing to Him subhanahu wa ta'ala, and place immense blessing in this year's Ramadan.